Welcome to Music Production Aminos Feedback Stream number 7. I am the guild leader, and today judging with us and giving feedback, we have Blayhub, Retrograde, Minty Mist, and Radium. They've got Minty Mist, Blayhub, Radium, the guild leader, and Retrograde. The whole team, pretty much. We're going to give feedback on some tracks that were submitted by the community, and we're going to give our perspective on them, coming from different perspectives to help you gain a new perspective on your music. If you want to submit a track for the next stream, we do this every Friday. Same time, there'll be a form, and we can post a link here. But we got always a form in the community on the featured post. It'll be labeled Feedback Stream number 8. You just fill out the quick form. We'll add you to the queue, and tune in next Friday. We'll just get straight into this. There is a couple questions I want to answer real quick. So Blayhub's streaming today. I am hosting like usual, but this is all a co-host between all of us, so we're all hosting. Some questions I had real quick I wanted to address at the beginning of stream for people that are just trying to tune in and get updates. On the team battles, people that are still a little confused, and I understand I'm not very descriptive with my things. I'm more minimal on purpose. But I want to make sure I have all the information in there. So if you do have a question on one of the things, just ask me, especially direct message, and then I'll answer it. But I'll also answer it I'll update the post, the original post, so other people don't have that same question. So that's how I know what information needs to be added. I'll just kind of gain feedback like that. So with the PvP battles, we still have 2 teams. The team stayed the same from last week. So we have Ski Lion's team, and we have Arcestic's team. They still have their team. Then we got a new team. We're about to do the draft today. We're gonna do the draft tomorrow, but I'm gonna make the post today for the drafts members. But Powerball is gonna be a team captain. So now we have 3 teams. So we can either have Powerball go against one of the 2 teams we had last time. So like maybe the winning team versus Powerball's team, or if we can get another team captain right away, we'll have the 2 new teams go against each other, and then maybe the 2 winners will go against each other, something like that. So we got to make all that happen in the next couple of days if y'all want to do that. If not, we'll just do a rematch between the 2 other teams or whatever. So today's going to be the draft post. Tomorrow's going to be the actual draft. Sunday, go up to the battle post, and we'll do the actual battle on Monday. All right. So let's just get into this. And thanks all the judges for showing up. Like as always, this is really cool that we have everyone here today. And we'll make sure everyone has time to talk. I'll talk less and stuff. So if there's any other questions, go ahead and ask them. Hi, Chika. Hi, Alicia. Hi, Arcestic. Hi, everyone in the chat. Thanks for joining us. We'll go ahead and get started here when you're ready, Blay.
All right. Yeah, let's just get right into it. Okay, our first track is Monster by Kitsune Power or Kitsune 3 Power. Have fun.
Feeling like a monster. Feeling like a monster. Light it up.
Tango down.
Feeling like a monster.
All right, that was Monster by Kitsune Power. Okay,
Nice.
what did you guys think?
This is a guild leader. I really liked it. I mean, this is going to be an open discussion, so everybody knows. But I'm just going to start it off by saying I really liked it. What did y'all think?
Yeah, compared to like his other stuff that I've heard, this is probably my favorite track that I've heard from him for sure.
Yeah, this is what I would say too. It's my favorite. Now I still got some some negatives and positives to give you, but I
Yeah.
just want to get everyone's initial reaction. I think we basically all agree that it was like one of your best songs by far.
For sure.
I mean, I would say that the
Yeah.
one of my favorite things was the mix. The idea too was, of course, I think one of your best ideas. But what I've always said on every feedback stream, as you know, is I keep telling you, I wish your mix was wider and more clear and like no sounds were fighting each other. This one, everything seemed to have its own space. Everything was wide, and on top of that, the idea itself was more of a style I listened to. I liked it.
Yeah, I felt it was more of a
Go for
unique
it.
sound by you as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely think that. I wrote a few things down. I'll just go through them real quick if you guys don't mind.
Oh, for sure. This is Retrograde talking, by the way. I want everyone to make sure they recognize our voice since we don't have little blinking icons.
Yeah.
The more we talk, the more that. So that's Retrograde. I was Guild. Here we go.
So I wrote down the drums need to be a lot punchier. They need to come forward in the mix. Just because of being a EDM song, that is the driving rhythm of the song.
How would you
could-
do that aside from volume?
You could do some saturation on the drums. Personally, I would just honestly choose different drums and then shape the transients. So, up the attack, and then
Right.
I also for kicks, I do like a 3-layer thing. So you have a click kick, and then a body, and then a tail.
To
and
sort
you
of
layer all
build up the
3 of those.
sound of the kick, sort of make it your
Yeah.
own sound out of multiple sounds.
Yes, yeah. And you can also customize, all the different transients by using different sounds. Upping the sub on the drone bass note that you had going through like the whole intro would really help give more body to the intro. There's a couple things, OTT and like Sausage Fattener and Camel Crusher, or things that do the same or have the same function as those, would really help strengthen your basses, which is kind of the main negative for me in the drop. The basses were really weak. There need to be more background elements to fill out the whole image, especially during the drop. There, you can have white noise on the drum hits and just little like sprinkly sounds in the back and everything to help. I wrote down more variety, but then the second drop was completely different for the most part. So I did like that. I think like the breakdown and everything could have had a little bit more stuff going on. And then I wrote down there was a cool vocal sample in the fake out drop in the second half, and then just work on bass sound design. I don't know what VST you're using, so it kind of depends on that, but I would definitely kind of just do some sound design sessions and see what you can come up with. And that's all I wrote down, but I really liked it.
Yeah.
Right. Not bad. Yeah, that's like those are some really good tips there, I think. Yeah. I feel like Minty wants to say something. Isn't that right, Minty?
I was just gonna say that this was my favorite track for me so far. It definitely had the best arrangement so far out of all your tracks that you submitted. Because a lot of your tracks, you just start with this one idea and then you kind of change the sound up a bit, like change the synth, and then that's the drop. But this one, there was different sections, and there was like the drops were different too. So, yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, that's what I want to say.
So nice job. I would give this a 4 probably if it was one of our battles, to be honest with you. I mean, don't hold me to that. You could bring it to one of the battles, but I mean, from first impressions, I'd give this a 4. But I mean, I know this ain't star ratings, but I mean, it's still feedback. I liked it, Good job, KP. And
I was, I think one thing I was mentioned shortly while we were listening. I think you mentioned that, Retro, that it is. No, it was you, Minty, that it got really lengthy in a certain part, and I think I agree with that. That some parts are sort of like. I think that was then actually Retro saying that a lot of parts are actually sort of copy pasted. And then later on, you had a lot more interesting stuff happening. And I feel like with this sort of stuff, I mean, okay, sure, if this is like some club mix, which I believe I learned last time on one of the streams, is that these longer mixes where sort of things progress slower, they make sense for this sort of like DJ kind of thing. But for showcasing tracks and like radio mixes or this sort of thing, I think it makes sense to have them a bit more compressed, and I think it would make it more interesting for such a like listening session, or like for even just releasing it to the public that is not played in a club or something, not meant for a DJ to have in a set. I think it would make sense to make 2 versions of that and have one version be much more compressed, where you have all the sounds come in a bit earlier and just sort of more exciting in a shorter period of time. And just like a small thing that I felt was a bit off was that 8-bit sound, like the NES kind of sound. I felt that was a bit off considering the context this was in, because it was literally the only sound in the entire track that was like that, and that felt kind of out of place.
Right. It's just after you said it a couple times, now that you say it again, I know exactly what you're talking about. It's like, I'm sorry, I was back farther away from the mic. Yeah, I noticed what you're talking about, Blade. Now that you say it again, it did. Like you could have a bunch of cool sounds, and then at first when you go, that's another cool sound, put it all together. But if you really like take a step back and you can ask yourself, does it need to be there for one, or if it needs to be there, should it be a different sound choice? Your palette, and it's personal preference. So if you like it, you like it. But that sound actually, plays very well along with a bunch of other sounds in the same like vein, like the 8-bit video games almost sound that all stuff really good together. But in the context that it was in, it can sound out of place, especially it sounded out of place to Blade. He noticed it right away. So cool. We should move. I mean, Radium, did you want to share anything before we move on?
Yeah, Radium.
Oh,
There.
I mean, I kind of enjoyed it. It's certainly an improvement, and
Yeah.
I have this vibe that I think like you're starting to find your sound and your brand.
Oh yes.
Because I don't remember, like, I don't know, the songs were a certain way, and I thought, like, if you continue in this kind of way of making your music, I think you're really just like gonna find your sound, and it's really gonna help you music wise. Like, that's all I have to say. Otherwise, it was it was kind of decent.
Oh, I like the vocal sample too, because I keep telling you put vocals back in your songs, but this time that was the best way to do it too. Like that vocoder, that was really cool. Cool.
Yeah. I would definitely add a lot of compression on that vocoder just to like crisp it up and bring it out more, because it was kind of a little weak right before the drop. But honestly, it doesn't matter that much. This is just like
but you're right though. It would definitely. It's those little changes that you think no one's, but subconsciously that's what makes it so crazy.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
You're right. Push that over
Yeah.
the top. Cool. Let's
All
move
right.
on.
Yeah, let's move on to the next track. The next track is a work in progress by Fox of Galaxy. This is Traitor. Have fun.
Okay, so here's a song that I'm currently making. It's a work in progress. So yeah, now I'll let you listen.
Traitor. 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 Traitor.
Oh, what's this?
I hate you, Fox of Galaxy. I hope you spill your milk when you eat your cereal. And I'm not kidding.
Wow. Why would you set this curse on me? Now I can eat cereal with milk because it'll make a mess. I can't believe it. Leave a like if you're depressed.
Okay, so that was Traitor
Oh my
by
goodness.
Fox
Oh
of
my
Galaxy.
That was the best thing I've heard all week. Well, I mean, the track has I have some things to say about the track, but the ending was so perfect.
The ending was
For those that don't
perfect.
know,
The ending was
that was
perfect.
the Minty Mrs. Previous feedback on Fox of Galaxy's track.
Yes.
I hate you, Fox of Galaxy, and I hope you spill your milk when you eat your cereal.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
Too funny. That made me laugh. Good job though. I mean, I actually like the idea. I do like the build for the build. A build up for another build up.
Yeah, the double
Yeah, that was
build.
interesting.
Just because of the concept, the idea. This is a cool idea. But I think we were talking, and we'll just talk about it here. But I think you need to add a little more oomph to the bass. Like when I listen to rhythm and stuff, especially on headphones, the bass literally is just so. It's not too loud, but it's just the right level where it's almost grabbing you by it feels like it's almost grabbing you by the ears and moving and rhythming your head back and forth woo, woo. It's like that wub, that bass that really takes the track. You know what I mean? Yours just seemed like it was a little pushed back, but what y'all think?
Okay. I'm glad that you showed me the rest of the drop from last time.
Yeah. Was that from last time?
And I think it is because I recognize the build up.
Okay, right. But wasn't that different? Had like that. That was different, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was the same.
That was the same.
Well, anyway,
I didn't hear that better than it went.
anyway, I forgot what I was gonna say.
I'm sorry. Oh no, I'm sorry. Damn it.
Yeah,
I did it
you
again.
guys, yeah.
No. That's fine. What were you gonna say, Minty?
Oh, I was gonna say that so there was like a double build up pretty much, and then this drop was just, I don't know, I felt like the build up was more of it had a higher energy compared to
It kind of fell off.
Yeah, it fell off pretty much. So
that's one of the hardest parts, honestly, is matching the energy of a build up with a drop. I do agree with Minty though. I think I think it was because those kind of drops with the bass and then the space in between, they do work, but after a drop or a build up so high energy, and it's just promising some crazy high energy drop, and then it's a pretty standard rhythm drop with kind of standard bass design too. I would say that either do something with the build that kind of reverb it out so it kind of gets spread thin, and then come back in the drop, and then you feel the bass way harder, or put way more energy into the drop, which is what I would do personally. There were a couple things. I really liked the vocal samples. They were hilarious. The fake out build was really good. I mean, anytime there's a drop fake out, I really like it, unless it's poorly done. But I always think it's good to kind of subvert, there's a build up, you're ready for the drop, and then all of a sudden there's another build up, and that would be kind of a funny thing. Yeah, that'd be kind of a funny thing to play in a show where everybody starts dancing.
It always reminds me of the SNL skit. The SNL skit where it just keeps building and building, and it's a button that says drop, and it's just not pressing the button.
Yeah. So I don't have a ton to say about it, because I think Blaze said it was a work in progress, so there's still a lot of mixing stuff that can be done, and you can add a lot of elements to hype up that drop, but that's basically all I have to say.
Yeah, nice vocal sample though. I really like the voice.
That was so funny. Cool. Radio, did you have anything? Blay Hub, y'all want to move on to the next one? Anything more?
I mean, I thought the ending was really funny, and I guess it's not part of the actual track, but I really like the ending, and I think you should do something with it.
Yeah, for sure. You can bring those vocals in at the very beginning or something, catch someone's attention, and that'll actually kind of like they'll be sucked in from the beginning. They're like, "What? That's funny," and then they'll be sucked into the song instead of just being like, "Oh, just another rhythm track."
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Shall we move on, or did anyone else want to say anything important?
If someone wants to say something and we're moving on, you definitely have to
Yeah.
speak up before we move on. So we are moving on. Radio, we're moving on.
2, 1. 3. Okay, so the next track is a work in progress. Heartburn by Chika M. Have fun.
How you gonna lie to me? Let's say you're telling the truth. How you gonna fight with me? Did us get to lose? Yeah, you lose. I toss the coin and then on. Think I don't know what's going on. I trust in my instincts more than you. You think I don't have a clue? 'Cause how you got hyper, thinking this is all about you. All because you have an issue. This world doesn't revolve around you. You don't have heartburn. You don't have heartburn. So you think you did nothing wrong, but I feel you could have gone this better. Yeah, you say it's my mother's fault that you got hyper, thinking this is all about you. All because you have an issue. This world doesn't revolve around you. Lesson learned from this one. Don't let someone take advantage of you. Don't let someone manipulate your mind. 'Cause now you got hyper, thinking this is all about you. All because you have an issue. This world doesn't revolve around you. You don't have heartburn. You don't have heartburn.
All right, so that was Heartburn, a work in progress by Chika M. All right. I thought that was really, really interesting. I really like the melodies you had in this and the ideas. It's really, just really like interesting and unique, I think.
The songwriting again is like always on point, like I always say. But I mean, your mixing's all over the place on this. You know, definitely, this is the kind of mix problem that. This is what I hear. This is kind of mixed problem, like where it seems like you tried to do a mix of it, but it's like like it sounded good in your headphones, it sounded good in your speakers. So it sounds like this is the kind of mix that once you take it to another multiple more sets of speakers, and listen, you'll also notice the mix problems that I heard in the mix, and we all heard in the mix. But it's just the kind of mix you get from just like mixing and writing at the same time.
There's a few plugins where you can kind of monitor your mix in simulated environments, so you can have it sound like it's coming out of car speakers and different brands of headphones and stuff like that.
Right.
See how it sounds with anything. That might help you if your specific headphones are giving you trouble with mixing.
Right. It's just certain elements are like super loud and some are just super quiet. But it seems like it's the frequencies causing it to be so much loud. So that's why different speakers sound different, because like some just are boosting the frequencies at different spots. So when you do have something that's boosted in your environment, it's only being boosted because there's actually a dip there in your speaker environment. You're causing it to be boosted more. So when you finally go listen to it in a different environment, it's going to be boosted double what you really wanted. So I think that's what's happening with a couple of your sounds and your vocals. And then I think you should re-record some of your vocals like always. I think this is more of a scratch track on a lot of those. But like I always say to you, Chika, I just love the sound design. I mean, the songwriting, and the concept. Like the concept. If you ever say this is my song I wrote, now we got to re-record it. Like this is it though. I think it's a good song. Like you wrote good words and a good arrangement and a good little, ad libs and falsettos opportunity and stuff like that. And it has all the elements of a good pop song, dark pop. I know that's what you like, the dark pop stuff. It's really good. And then my favorite little thing was the little synth on this. There's like on my headphones is on the right side. You had like this synth, like this little pad synth for a little bit. It was just padding it, like it just going on like droning on like one side of the headphone. It's like, it was so awesome. I love that little sound. I love the sound of it, and I love how you used it. And that's what I'm always saying, that it does. That adds the dark pop element you're looking for. So you know what you want and you know what you're trying to get, but you just practice makes perfect, Chika.
Yeah.
I have a question for Minty, actually, while you're, because he's more of the hip hop producer, right? So one thing that I've been doing that I don't know if this is something that you do or anything, but so like her sub sometimes would drop so low that you couldn't hear it. So would you put it like a step up or like an octave up? Just that the one, like say they drop too low for most headphones to be able to hear it. Would you put it an octave up? Because I've been doing that on like the sub for like my basses and stuff.
If you mean like pitching the whole thing up, like
not the whole,
or just
no.
that note.
Just that note. If the sub drops too low.
I personally don't recommend it, but I want to hear. I mean, I'm curious myself.
Yeah, I don't
honestly
recommend it as well, because
I don't recommend it. I recommend using a fake.
It's a tip that I got from I don't know if you guys know who Chime is, but it's something that he does a ton.
I believe a lot of people do it because it's not a wrong thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
But I believe in trap and hip hop, you actually want it to go. You want it to go that low because you want it to rumble, and even if you can't hear it, what you do is you put a fake. I mean, not a fake, but you put a second layer on top of it that's just distorted. That's where the 808s are so good, because you add like this distorted 808 on top of that low note. That's why you still want to use a separate sub. The separate sub goes down, but you can send the distorted 808 up if you really wanted to. And there's different ways of doing it, but that's one trick I do.
Poor Minty trying to answer the question.
I'm trying to answer his question, and then Gil was just like,
I'm gonna leave. Y'all can do this without me. I'll be back when y'all are done.
No, don't leave.
Said what I was gonna say.
I know. I'm sorry.
But yeah,
I want you to say it again though.
Put up an octave though. It's not gonna be like a sub anymore. It's more like gonna be a bass. Just with it's not gonna be the sweet spot. Like satisfying sub. It's not gonna be a rumble. So I think you could just change the sound that you're using, or you could
you can up the harmonics or something so you can still get the the actual hearing.
Actually, this is something where I think I can actually say something about it coming from the classical music world. There's grand piano can go pretty low, and you always hear them no matter what speaker, even the lowest tones. The reason is all the overtones and harmonics you hear.
Yeah.
And so that is probably the best way you can do this is add overtones to your subs. And overtones, harmonics, whatever you want to call it.
For sure.
You keep it audible the whole time, no matter what note it's going to.
There's been a couple plugins in the past. There's even a free one. I forget the name of it, but there's the original one was called by Waves. It was called MaxSpace. That might be the free one actually. But there's one that what they are. They analyze your sub, and then they generate harmonics above it that is literally designed. It says when you read it that's supposed to be heard on laptop speakers and cell phone speakers and stuff like that.
Wow.
And well, there's a lot of people have started like incorporating that technology in their thing. And my favorite, and I think Chika's mentioned it. I don't know if it's Chick or someone mentioned it once. You might have it. It's called Sublab. If anyone sees that synth, it's so worth the money. It's by Future Workshops or something like that. It's awesome, and they have their own little. They call it their own patented technology, but it's the same thing. It's called Xbase, and it analyzes your notes, and then it creates harmonics above it, but it does it in a way that I just turn it up anyways because I just love the sound of it. It has this extra layer to all of my 808s that you can hear it on all sets of speakers, but it's not really effective.
You can have a sub that you can hear in the phone, like
or at least a emulation of a sub by like this little bit of it's like a slight saturation. It's such a slight saturation, like it's just like this soft distortion thing that it's like that. It's like those 808 layers you can get that are just called they're just called layers, but they're just real thin like noise, but they're designed to be layered with your 808s to give it that dirty distortion without really having to distort your 808s to the point where your sub is ruined also. So you want to there's just tricks like that. But and just saturation plugins do it too. If you use like Saturn and stuff, you can choose which frequencies you want to saturate. So you don't have to saturate the entire sample. You don't have to saturate the sub
really
frequencies.
nice. Or like Omicide. Have you ever used that?
No, I've heard of it though. I mean, I've seen people use it on YouTube.
Yeah, I want to hear what Radio has to say about this.
Yeah.
Her mic's armed and ready.
Yeah.
You might be disappointing because I don't have much to say.
Oh, no.
We're never disappointed in what you have to say.
Yeah.
I mean, like my feedback, vocal-wise, kind of stays the same. Beginning of the song, from what I could hear, kind of felt off-key at times. So I definitely work on that. Like if you have issues staying on key, one thing you can do is first sing and record yourself, listen, and then sing again, but with a tuner. But that would involve like knowing what keys are in the song you're singing in. But like that really helps if you're off key, because like it really breaks even when it's like orchestic. Go fuck yourself.
Oh my god.
Whoa, what's going on?
Simon just reacting.
Whoa.
Ooh.
Okay, anyway.
Damn, Arcastic.
I forgot what I was gonna say.
Damn it, Arcastic. God damn it.
Everyone gets mad at Arcastic. We'll bleep that out later. Oh wait, this is live.
Yeah, that doesn't work.
All right, much love everyone.
Like tuner, yeah, there was improvement in voice strength. I have no idea how to say it, but like your voice seemed to hold a lot better. There was a high note that you hit quite right that I really, really like. Like honestly, this song deserves high notes in some parts, but that would involve like a lot of practice to hit them. So yeah, honestly, I don't have much to say vocal wise. I really like the song. But yeah, as always, the vocals, they need work. But that's like for every singer, even the best one.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was my little
Cool.
feedback. And I said what I said, Orchestic.
That's gonna be in the next submission in the next feedback stream.
Orchestic takes our samples and makes music out of them.
Yeah.
I'm iconic. Good.
That's gonna be the best little intro to a drop or something, little transition.
Okay.
But it's funny because Simon does get booed. I'm watching this season of America's Got Talent, even though that's on hold because of COVID. But he gets booed still to this day by the crowd when he says things. It's so funny.
Let's not talk about the Forbidden Show. Okay. Let's move on.
Other shows. Yeah, that show's not as good as ours. Let's go.
Exactly. Okay. So the next submission, the next track is by Hazarral. From a Dream Beyond the End. Have fun.
Oh.
All right, that was From a Dream Beyond the End by Hazarral. Butchering those names again today. Woo! Okay.
The names are challenging.
Yeah.
Nice. So I think the end of it took everyone by surprise. That was really cool.
That was surprising,
I
yeah.
see Got Mojo saying in the chat, I was either hell of an arpeggiator or a talented pianist. Yeah, or a lot of MIDI sequencing. Yeah, but I think the beginning could use a little bit. I mean, the whole thing maybe, but the beginning for sure it's a little stale. But you don't need to add more. I think it just needs more human touches to make it sound like a little. I don't know. The choir's a little synthetic, or like sounds like like samples. You can add a little bit more coarse to it, and maybe some reverb and kind of blur pad maybe or something, blurred effect or something. I don't know, but it's a little stale. Maybe add a little more human like to the like piano rolls, like not big rolls, but just the incidental rolls, like an accidental like things with the keys, like on the chords. But then when you went to the second half, you didn't really need to, because where your finger, but like when you do when you roll a chord instead of just going straight down, and you did have some of that. But what I'm saying, where when you do it and there's like an accident where like one of the notes is. It's like an accident that ends up sounding good because you kept it. It's like that human touch to it. I think it could add a little bit more of that to it, and it wouldn't sound like maybe just MIDI piano playing or whatever is what it sounded to me.
Yeah,
but the choir is more than that. The choir more than that, I think, was sounding a little.
Yeah,
like
I should
samples.
probably maybe we talked about this, but this came straight out of MuseScore, so we can't really judge the production itself, because this is sort of like more about the composition itself rather than the production, which obviously there is none.
Well, composition I think is good. Now production, I would definitely say
there's no production. That's the thing.
Yeah, you just put the notes in, and that's it.
Yeah.
Well, subjectively, I don't know what music score is, and I have never seen it. So hearing this song, like
MuseScore is it's just notation software like Sibelius or Finale, whatever.
Right, but when you release it to SoundCloud and stuff, and you're putting it out on the radio, the first person to listen is going to think what they think.
Yeah, but I think the intentions are probably to have this be performed or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's written.
I can't use Fruity Loops as a defense anymore. I'm using Fruity Loops. I'm sorry.
I mean, the thing is, I do this. I take the stuff that I intend to be performed. I mean, I write my stuff in a DAW in FL Studio, and then take the MIDI data into Sibelius and make it so people can actually read it. But I'll do this just for me, and sometimes just to release it, because sometimes I know it's not going to be performed or something, so I can hear it. Or maybe if it's for a production, they don't need the notation anyway, because they're not going to have it recorded by like a 200-piece orchestra, whatever. So I do all the humanizing stuff and whatnot, and basically do the performance and make it sound good. But this isn't necessary if it's just about the composition. You're going to release it on sheet music or whatever, So we can't really judge it based on the sound itself. And we shouldn't. I feel we shouldn't judge it on the production.
Well, especially
because it's a different.
Submitted it with that note. If y'all submit a track with the note saying, "Oh, well, this is submitted on MuseScore, so yada yada yada," or you submit a note saying, "This is a work in progress, so don't judge me in the fact that it's not mixed and mastered."
Yeah.
Or you can say, "Don't judge the vocals because I know I need to record the vocals." If you already know the criticism we're going to give you for something, put in the notes. But first impressions, if I just heard this, that's what my feedback would be, and and honestly, that would reflect if this was put into a PvP battle too. I think, what I mean, because I'm judging that stuff on like finished songs. But that being said, composition, and I want to go one more time in the composition. The second half of this was awesome. Like that was cool.
Yeah, what's a lot going on?
All over the place, a lot going on. I think it worked. What y'all think?
Yeah, I don't know if I want to go there, but I'm felt some of the certain jumps after the scales or glissandi. I felt some of them were a bit abrupt and a bit big jumpy kind of thing, And I think sometimes it felt a bit not aimless, but I sometimes was confused as to where it like went, which of course could be fully intentional, seeing that this is like a dream beyond the end, and dreams are kind of weird. So I think this could be intentional. It's just something I'd pay attention to in other things, other ideas. And I think actually one of the things I want to touch on, because what I'm hearing now, which is interesting, because I think that is something to take from this, is y'all have mentioned the ending, or like the like last sort of section before the like ending, which you all found exciting, which is there was there was a lot of stuff going on in the piano. I think you should take the hint and see if there's more you can do with the first part, because you have this sort of always moving kind of rhythm that sort of stays the same, and I think there's more you could explore there in terms of melody and all that stuff. The issue for me is that with a lot of the things you do is they all have this sort of steady rhythm that just keeps going, and something I don't know if it's actually if I don't want to say that as the notation software that's holding you back and experimenting with more sort of outgoing rhythms or like rhythmic patterns, whatever. But I do get a sense that sometimes people are a bit afraid or just a bit uninspired by the notation software, because to have those more interesting rhythms, you got to do a bit more in that software. And I'm not going to say you should use different software or anything, but I'm just going to say maybe pay more attention to that and try to break up that constant steady rhythm every now and then, and try to have more interesting patterns there. Also just breaking up, because you have the piano basically constantly playing and doing the same thing. It's basically always every beat, so to say, there's a note there. And I think that's a bit tiring after a while, especially if you repeat a couple of things. And I'd also... the same thing of like, silence is so important in music, because it's one of those things you just don't really think about when you don't think about them. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. But silence is really important in music. Yeah, silence or the absence of sound, or like not even absence of sound as a whole, but it's really important to work with those elements. And I think in terms of orchestration,
so. It's half the battle.
yeah, I think in terms of orchestration, you should break up the steady flow of constantly having a sound from every instrument all the time, every time, which you don't necessarily have. But for example, the choir is constantly there, I believe, for the most part, and it too sort of blends into mush after a while, which I don't think is only due to the sound. And one thing I always notice too as a pattern is that you sort of have this sort of one instrument that is the center focus of your piece, and the other stuff is just a component, a cup. You know what I mean? Damn it. No, but I think you should experiment more with sort of switching around the lead voicing, so to say. So break up stuff, break up the rhythms, break up the. Yeah, thank you, Minty, in the chat. Thank you. But break up the rhythm, break up the orchestration every now and then. Orchestration is the wrong term in this case, but basically, don't be afraid to have instruments be on rest every now and then, or like sections in like in case of a choir, and try to give everyone more to do. Yeah, that's what I'd suggest.
Cool. Yeah, I mentioned I was teasing because I know you're not going to do this, but the way that Heartburn ending was, if you would have thrown like that as into a super saw, it would have made a really killer trance song. It's really great melody and lead melody. Yeah. But
yeah, you switched it up, and I was like, damn, that was fire. So.
Yeah. That's what I said. I was like, oh, this guy just snapped. Like, because I mean, really, it's just like went from like someone that was just like playing some smooth stuff to all of a sudden it was just like rock and roll almost. Like, but it's just really cool. Like, it wasn't just like a lead solo. It was more of like lead, like arpeggios almost. The bass was going down, the top was going up, and then you did that whole little, the what do you call it? Where you just roll your hand all the way from one key to the next, all the way down the board. Yeah. And then it was just a really nice way to simulate what is in EDM music is like the build up, right before drop. It's kind of like what it was. It just kept building up to like, to the next part. But it was appropriate because it was all done with the piano. I don't know. I know there are some humans that could play that, but I just don't know how it would sound, like how accurate it would sound to that, or how much.
Oh, I think it's possible.
Human.
Yeah,
for
possible.
sure. I've seen some good stuff.
Did you listen to Internal Conflict at any point? Because that's possible.
I didn't know if I was listening real close to see if there's like 11 fingers happening there, and you only have 10 fingers. I was like,
sure, yeah.
But
You gotta
cool.
use the sostenuto pedal.
Everything you got, your face. You start hitting your face on the keyboard.
Exactly.
Yeah. Cool. Should we move on? Or
Yeah.
You want to say something?
I think Radiant wants to say something. She muted herself on Discord.
That's our sign.
Yeah, that's our sign.
Oh boy.
I think you guys mentioned it, so I don't know. I was gonna say humanize the piano a little bit,
What?
so it sounds less. I was gonna
Say
say
what?
humanize.
Oh yeah.
But I think I already said
Gonna have
that.
to.
Yeah.
And Blade
Actually,
mentioned that it's gonna probably be in
yeah.
the re.
Yeah, I mean the thing is Hazarral is getting into using DOS more, so this is totally a possibility. And for that, I'd give you the recommendation: work off grid. So shift nose around and treat it as an instrument. Treat it like you're playing it. Basically, working in the DAW is your chance of interpreting it's your chance to. English has left me today. It's your chance to interpret what you're writing in notation, basically. So this is your chance to convey the emotion and do stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Cool.
when you
Yeah,
We
Minty?
think I
Oh,
lost you,
sorry.
Minty.
Oh, yeah. I was gonna say that I give up. I give up.
No worries, no worries. We're
Okay.
making pretty good time. How many
Yeah.
more tracks we got?
Oh, we got 18 more tracks. No, just kidding. We got 2 more tracks.
Okay, so we're actually
Oh,
making
that's
really
fine.
good time. Yeah, y'all can.
I'm gonna add something for the.
Yeah, please do. We got some time to fill.
Oh yay.
I'm gonna add something. If you ever give that piece to a real piano player,
Yes.
pray for him first.
His fingers. You just gotta find the right one that they're just used to it.
Because
Give me like
I-
10 years. I can probably.
Like I was listening close, and it sounded like the hands would have to stretch to an unbelievable, but it's actually just the illusion of a good piano player. Like I'm not sure if he took the time. It happens all the time in recording music too. When you're the kind of recorder that records guitar, bass, and then you do it all yourself, you start adding too much, and then when you try to go play it live, you're like, whoa, I can't. Or singers do it all the time too. They'll add the chorus over the verse, and then the last word of one section will tail over the other word of another section. Well, when they're performing it live, they can't do that, of course.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's the same thing. You
I
gotta always
hate
pay
that.
attention to.
Sorry, quick rant. That's fucking stupid. I hate it so much. Why do people do that? It's so fucking shit. Okay.
It's such a giveaway that it's just a studio production and not like what.
And it
actually
sounds
sound
like
live.
shit. It just sounds stupid. It sounds like, oh, they didn't know what to fucking do.
Use your backup singers, people. Okay, so
Playback.
anyways, as far as this piano goes, yeah, just make sure that if you did want this to be played by just one person, you got to actually make sure it. That's why it's actually good, kind of what Blake was saying, to put it out on paper, on notation software paper, like actual notation. You'll see if it's basically possible. A lot easier just by looking at that, I think. But if you're a piano player, and you know how to read music.
Publish
Not like
it.
me.
Let it
Publish it.
play it to have someone play
Let's
it.
Let's
move
see
on.
what Red.
Yeah, let's hear the next track if y'all are ready.
Yeah, next track is Future Galaxy by Purelemon. Have fun. Okay, that was Future Galaxy by Purelemon. That was an abrupt ending. Yeah, this time I didn't. This time I didn't
didn't even
listen
get
to
to
the
hear the ending.
tracks.
I was listening pretty closely as far as just like production.
No.
quality.
I didn't. I didn't mean I didn't listen to the track. I meant I wasn't listening before I started the stream.
Oh yeah, like you usually do.
Yeah, like I
Yeah.
usually do. So I was surprised by that. The ending was okay. Purelemon, quick feedback. Work on the ending.
Have an ending.
Well,
Have
the
an
ending
ending,
kind of
yeah.
goes along with some of that. That kind of comes with. It kind of goes hand in hand with some of the other feedback I think we're going to share, which is about your transitions. Well, first of all, I want to say I really like this song. I really liked it. I like the rhythm.
Yeah,
I
it's
love
really
the way
cute.
the kick drum was coming through. I mean, I don't know how you did your side chain, but it sounded like you had it just right for the kick drum, anyways. And I like the rhythm. There was some sense that I want to say just go turn the volume up, but I feel like they could probably be just a little louder, maybe in some of the frequencies, just so they like sound more like a edgier sense, not distortion, but I'm talking about just like loud enough to say like I'm the lead now, like I'm the one thing I want you to focus on. Because what happens is everything
I'm
just
the
like has
guild
a
leader
set.
now.
Yeah. Like you gotta have each sound, and each time has to kind of come up above the mix and use like volume automation, like in mixing to say, hey, like pay attention to me now. But so the vocal sample that you did in there, I think that could have done that a couple times. Like you could have brought that out just a little bit more. It doesn't have to stay loud. What a trick people do in mixing all the time, they make it loud right when you first hear it, and then immediately dips down. And just the way we are as humans in our ears, we stay focused on whatever sound peaked out like loud like that. But even if you move it immediately down, so it could be like whoa, and then goes down to a regular, a appropriate volume, so it doesn't clash with everything else. But because we heard it loud first thing, we pay attention to it. So that's a way to like lead people into what you want them to listen to. And I think you could do that. This song could benefit from a lot of those kind of tricks. And then I really like this. I like the palette of sounds you use. I love the synth sound. I like how dry it was. It's really good for like clubs and stuff, because next to songs that have a lot of reverb, your song's going to sound the cleanest in the club, because clubs add reverb.
I could taste the dusty salt. Because it's
so dry.
Dry, yeah.
But good job. I think Retro's going to say some stuff about transitions.
Yeah.
I agree.
I mean, yeah, you pretty much covered it on the transitions. I did like, there were several parts where the lack of transition actually really helped it. I just think that since there were so many different parts of the song that were so different, that a few of them could have used a natural evolution into a transition into the next part. Not all of them, but definitely like a few of them. Just, the whole song doesn't have to be what feels like different blocks of the song put together.
Yeah.
Even though it actually really heightens the impact on some of the sections.
The thing is also you commented on the evolution it had in the beginning, but then it managed to sort of stay the same.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did. Yeah, that's true. It had like a ton going on, different variety and everything.
Yeah.
And then it did kind of double back and do the same thing again.
Yeah.
It's been unfortunate. Which is actually the reverse of what happened with KP's track, where I was like, it's the same thing again. And then, but he had a second drop that actually was totally different. So just switch those around and it'll be perfect. And then, the only other thing I really wrote down was it was super dry, and that's not necessarily a negative. It just makes it so that you can't possibly have any, there's a nice thunderstorm going outside.
Nice atmospheric recorded.
Got a lot of samples off today's stream.
Yeah. It just like prevents overlapping reverb and stuff like that. So it's fine. The sound design was basic, but it was cool, so didn't really mind it.
I think it sounds.
I didn't have a ton to say. Yeah.
Yeah, about the sound design, actually, I like the sounds that you used, because it created such a sugary, milky atmosphere that I really like. So yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It did. It was cute. Everything was pretty cute. I would say sweet.
Yeah.
It's like a palette. It's like picking the perfect set of blended colors, or the perfect blend of textures or sound or taste or whatever. It's like a good blend. And I think you referenced KP's track a second ago too. I'll bring it back around too, because to the point, it was what Blade was saying about KP's track. It all sounded good. It was just one thing that didn't sound like it blended into the palette or whatever. But in this case, everything seems to like go really like they all belong together.
They picked
Actually,
their sounds pretty well, I think.
yeah, I think KP accidentally used Purelemon sound in his. So
Yeah,
I know.
it
That's what I
does-
mean.
they all
That sound
have-
almost would have went better in Purelemon track. They could trade
yeah,
sound.
I
They
actually
do have
yeah.
that the cute NES the 8-bit
Yeah.
sounds to them, and it totally works in a setting like this. And I mean, it could have worked in KP's if he had done a natural evolution into it, but that from such a dark song like KP's was into like a NES usually kind of invokes a happier sound. It doesn't have to, but that's how it's usually used. It would be kind of hard to transition into that, but it works here perfectly because the song it's natural for it. So
yeah.
But still, both in since we brought your track back up, KP, once again, it was a really good submission. So good job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But okay, cool.
I think I have a question for Purelemon actually, and that is what the sort of context is for this, because I'm looking at the title now, and I remember when I listened to it, because I did listen to it when I was preparing the stream, just not in full. I was wondering, Future Galaxy. So what is it? What's it like? Kind of supposed to be? Because like I'm sort of getting the sense of maybe this. I mean, this is just like it's a cliche and I hate it, but it makes me feel like makes me think of like games, like older games. So like I'm thinking like what is it? What is the sort of context? What is the sort of idea? Is it like a game that's like has? Is it supposed to like being sort of like this game world kind of thing, or is it supposed to be something else? Because like I can see this working in context of a game, but I can also see this work in not the context of Future Galaxy, unless of course it's somehow like in that sort of like genre kind of thing, But it's kind of a stupid question, but
it reminds me of Nyan Cat. Remember Nyan Cat? It's like the galaxy.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that is, I mean, even the art is it's pixel art, so it's got that video game vibe to it.
Is it pixel art or is this something
The
that I did
Nyan Cat?
wrong? Wait, hold on. I thought you were on about
no,
Minty,
not in
Purelemons.
no. That's hand drawn. No. I'm talking about the Nyan Cat thing.
Yeah. I'm taking a look at it right now because I thought you meant this one. No,
No. Oh my God, I wish you hadn't brought that up.
What?
Guys,
Brought what up?
shifted the conversation.
Wait, brought what up? Brought what up?
Radium's turn to Radium's feedback. Radium's feedback.
I mean, you guys low key, like you guys say everything I have to say. I mean,
We're gonna let you speak first from now on. Radium speaks first from now on.
Yeah.
She'll
Radium
No.
she
first.
brings us back from the song. She's gonna say her bit.
Yep.
You can use
Yep.
you can always rely on the radio bit. That works. Would you turn this if it came on the radio?
Yeah, we need this. We didn't get
Oh
this in
my
so
God.
long. I want the radio review by Radium.
Right.
the
You
thing
like it though?
I had something to say.
Look Purelemon in the eye and tell Purelemon what you think about their track.
Dude, I am not a nice person.
Wow.
That's okay. I still want to hear it.
That's especially why I want to hear it.
Yes.
Oh, that's the picture.
Okay.
That's the picture.
Because you guys at the beginning of when the song started, you said something about I was dry. And it made me think about something, but I was like, oh my God, lemon is sweet. Should I say it?
Say it.
No.
Like you
Yes.
guys mentioned,
Say it. Say it.
you
They want
guys
blood on this
mentioned
podcast.
that the song felt dry. And I was like,
Like reverb.
I was gonna say it kind of reminded me of unseasoned chicken. But then I was like, that's not nice.
Oh.
You're like, that's clever. I want to say that. I really want to say that's clever, but is that nice? Okay,
What I was
but
gonna
we
say at the beginning, I was like,
Yum.
oh my God. That's like
chicken. That's like the chicken I eat because I'm so bland though, for real. But Now, when we say dry and you say dry by unseasoned chicken, now were you talking about like it could use more elements, or were you also referring to what we were like probably referring to as like
No,
the
Guild,
room reverb, the echo?
Yeah, all
it
that
could
stuff,
use more
especially.
seasoning.
Like you could
Yeah,
literally put some salt on your
exactly.
track lemon with some lemon.
In this work, like it's like, yeah, it's unseasoned chicken. It's like the chicken is there, it's washed. You put
I
the
get
thing to
that.
fry it, but you forgot the spices.
I can see
It's
that. I get
KFC level chicken. That's not okay.
Yeah, you know what? I
we
think
We
need-
I
need
think I kinda agree
spicy
with Steve.
chicken Future Galaxy. We need a roasted onion crack. I'm sorry.
It's that extra seasoning. I see where you're coming from, Radium. I think it goes hand in hand with what I was saying too. Like with that little, like where some of the sounds could come out a little more seasoned, like to kind of like emphasize the flavor in the track. We're gonna use food metaphors here. Like there's a lot of good stuff there, but you can bring it out. Like you can bring that stuff out a little bit more by reverb on the not just wash it with reverb, because again the dryness had a nice sound.
No.
But on the stab sense, that could have been a little bit more bigger just by some reverb or even some side chained reverb or automated reverb that only comes in when it hits, but then quickly automates out when it goes away, so it doesn't just fill up the space completely.
Mhm. Yeah, you can get artificial size just from
Yeah.
adding just a little bit of reverb.
Right, right.
Something that people do a lot is they'll put reverb on, leave almost all the settings, and put the dampness all the way to 0, and it's like a super quick reverb. But it gives an illusion of size that also doesn't mess with, it's dry and big at the
Yeah.
same time.
Yeah.
And then you can from there mess around with the other knobs and stuff, but the other parameters. But yeah, I think we should just use food analogies from now on. That's
I know, dude.
way easier.
This track is warm, smells good, and it's delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we have one more? Right.
We have one more. One more.
All right.
Okay.
We made really good time today, guys. We usually go
Yeah.
for 2 hours or more. So
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
and
we're all
we've been
hungry.
talking, so this is good. We're all hungry, especially now.
Yeah. Okay. So the next track is Lostrest by, or I think it's Lostrest. I don't know. It's one word. I don't know. I'm confused now. Okay. By Arc, or ARC. No, I think it's Arc. Okay. Arc. Lostrest. Have fun. All right. That was Lostrest by Ark. And I feel comfy now.
I know.
I do like. Yeah, it was a comfy track.
That song was
Yeah.
nice. That's what I have to say about it. It was very nice
Yeah.
to listen to.
It was
Yeah.
seasoned. Had good seasoning.
Yep.
No, actually, I really did like it. The beginning was a little like, okay, is this gonna pick up? I hope something happens. A little more. Nothing like, again, when I always say I want you to add more, I don't mean like just start piling stuff in. I just want to like be introduced with like involving an idea the whole time, not like waiting for something to happen. But for the most part, it did evolve. It did end up evolving into something really nice. The little hand drum, whatever kind of drum that is. Again, I don't mean turn it up way loud or super loud, but just like, I mean, these are my production ears. I would have just pushed that up just a little, I just tipped it up just a little, or maybe just a transit or something, make it a little bit more snappy, so that when you hit that little drum back there, it's like more up front. But I liked it. What y'all think?
I
Retrograde dropped his.
Can we
something.
listen to Min?
Sorry about that. My headphones fell off.
I really love this. This reminds me of the dating simulator. Do you guys play dating simulator?
Yes.
Like
We're
when
not all losers, but
yeah,
it's okay.
I'm gonna fight
So we know Radio and Minty. Everyone's getting to it.
I know that was a quick response from Radium.
this reminds me of I'm choosing the
Dating
one
simulator.
and then
I'm familiar.
Yeah.
No, that is cool though. It works. And
If we're comparing this song to comfort food, it would be something like comfort food, something that you just like, makes you feel safe,
Yeah.
and
like everything's gonna be okay, and like things are just cool right now. Why worry about big drops and is my bass right and all this? Because everything's just fine.
Although if there was just a random dubstep breakdown, I wouldn't mind.
I know Minty said he wants to remix this. Yeah, a lot of good elements there, a lot of good sound.
Yeah, I want to say this was really, really nice. This is the sort of thing where we could like say, oh, you could add this and you could add that and you could make that sound different. But honestly, I mean, I was gonna say something like, oh, it's kind of basic harmony. It's like really simple melodies and whatever. But honestly,
that's why
it works.
Yeah,
it works and it's really nice. And not everything needs to be crazy jazz harmony all the time. This works in every aspect. Every sound you chose, every like melody bit, everywhere you went, the harmony, the sounds of everything, it just works. It just works and it's really nice. So I think you did a really, really, really good job. And I could see this in any game or anything anywhere, not just games, but anything that has this
Dating
sort of
game.
like
Not just
style,
dating game.
anything that has this sort of like style that this would fit in, it would work. It wouldn't work for like a space movie, okay? It wouldn't work for some weird action movie. Maybe it could, it depends, but like this works. It just works. It's just fitting, and like every aspect sort of just works for that overall
Someone's
sound.
got one of those drums.
Yeah, it's just every element.
There it is. What are those called? Dome bass or drum?
I have no idea.
Drum bass or something like that.
No, but every element you chose here and used here and made use of here fits together and works together with everything else, the harmony and the melody. Like, of course, we could always say like, oh, you could add more here, and you could do this, and you could take the melody somewhere else. But I think this is a really good example of something that just simply doesn't need more. And it's simple, but simple in a really good way. So where it's utilized to the fullest. So it's not just, it's basic and there is something missing, but it has simple core elements, but the way it's executed and the way it's treated makes this everything but a simple process, but makes it sound so just perfect
Mhm.
in a way.
The simplicity was well thought out for sure.
Yeah, but it doesn't seem like the sort of like like that's because he was missing something or something like that, you know?
Yeah, no, yeah, for sure. Yeah, we were joking around a ton, but that's just because there wasn't really much negative to say about the song.
Yeah, I don't think
it's
there
not
was
like
really anything to
it's
really
not like
say.
Right.
they
Even with
produced
the mixing, that's just like even with the mixing. When I was talking about volume, that's not something that has to be done. That's just like again, just producer ears and stuff. Actually, no one's ever going to think about that outside of just you asking for feedback. You know, when you don't ask for feedback, people listen to it different. When you submit a track for feedback, we're like trying to find things. We're like, oh, that could have been a little louder. Or that could have been. But when you just submit it and say, hey, this is the way it is. It's done. It's the way I want it. It's done.
Yeah.
It's good. It's a good track. That's the way you want it to sound. So. I liked it though.
I think like totally depending on what this is intended for, what situations it's supposed to be used in. I think this works perfectly if it's used in the right circumstances. And I think looking at the title, looking at the cover art, I think it's all sort of. I get a feeling that it's supposed to work as a sort of way to calm down during these times we're experiencing right now. And I think that's completely achieving that. And so there's like literally nothing more you should do. So this is just, it's just good. It's just, yeah.
Nice job. All right. So that was the last track, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty sure
Radium-
Radium wants to say
Radium did
something,
some-
though.
Yeah.
I thought she, okay. I really thought she did. I'm sorry, Radio. You have 30 minutes, Radio. It's all you.
I was gonna add on what Blaze said. The song fits as a particular purpose. I'd had the song as a very, very dark power, and I'm saying this positively.
Yeah.
Okay, it's on the record. It's positive in
Positive.
the sense that I feel like it's made in a way that's gonna hit people differently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, if you're in a good mood, I feel like the song is gonna remind you of something positive. But if you're in a bad mood, it's gonna do like it's kind of the soundtrack to these animes or like Japanese show where
Right.
they make you care about a character and at the end they fucking kill it. And this music
Right.
was in the background. That
That
music has the power.
bittersweet kind of scene
Yeah.
or the serendipity kind of scene, whatever that stuff's called, whatever it's called, silver lining kind of stuff, where it's like sad and happy at the same time. You're just kind of like,
The thing is, this is something. Oh, I don't want to interrupt. Sorry.
it's Radium's hour.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Well, I forgot what I was gonna say.
God damn it!
We all have the shortest term memories. We all have like, you're like, wait, if you say one thing while I'm talking, I'm gonna forget what I'm saying. It's called being in the flow. Let's listen to the song again. Don't play.
I probably will actually.
I will actually. I like it. Yeah, good job. Radio, the floor is yours, but when you're done, we will do announcements and we will wrap this up. But we're not in any hurry.
I mean, it's a good song. Like, like it's a good song. I feel like it has potential to be used for like anything, from sad to happy to unknown. And I forgot what I was gonna say next. So yeah.
Except Transformers, I shouldn't be used as a waste.
Actually, it could work. Actually.
Use the Transformers, like put a sad theme where Optimus dies again for the time the franchise. It's gonna work.
Hey, spoilers.
I was gonna say I haven't seen it.
No, it's not a spoiler. Optimus always dies.
What? That's a spoiler.
No, it's not. He dies and comes back to life in every franchise.
I mean, let's be honest. How can there be a spoiler for Transformers?
My
It's always
power
the same
is
story.
going out.
I've only seen it. I'm so
Let's
far
not,
behind.
let's not disrespect Transformers.
If I cut out, it's because our power went out.
Oh, that storm got serious.
It's pretty bad storm.
Yeah, unplug your desktops, man. We can't have
Unplug
retrograde
yourself, your
music
Game
input on-
Boy. Protect yourself.
We can't have retrograde frying out. We
No.
need more music from retrograde.
I just wanna add like one thing, like a general tip for producers and composers that might be listening to this. I don't know, maybe. I want to add one thing that Radium said about how you can use happy themes in dark moments. This is something that works well and that is utilized a lot in film scoring, and I love to use it. you could take it as a trope, but I think it's more than that. Because when you think about, look at, okay, if you ever been interested in acting, you have talked about, you have looked into crying on command, this sort of thing, and portraying emotion correctly. When you're in grief, that's one major thing you learn. When you're sad about something, and people start crying, it never happens, or like it does happen, of course, but what's the most emotionally impactful thing is being in the situation of a great grief while thinking about a positive memory. This is why this works, because you're not sad because something bad happened, but the bad thing becomes sad once you connect it with another
good-
positive.
Yeah.
So you have that positive memory, and you think about that in the moment that you feel this person is lost, for example. If you lost someone,
This just got
you
deep.
think about those specific moments where positive things happened, because you're not sad about a death of some random person. I mean, it might be, but not as emotionally impacted by it than the person dying that you had specific memories with. So that's what you're thinking about, and that's what actors basically, when you try to act the sort of it's a sort of grief, you're gonna want to frame it around these happy thoughts. That's when it works the most, and that's exactly how music can work that emotion. Is if you build up a theme early on, you connect a theme to a specific thing or a location or a moment or a person, and you bring that theme back at the right moment of great grief, instead of having the same old cliched high string sad whatever thing. You bring back the theme
good.
that the viewer has already connected with. So when you connected with the thing, with a specific theme, and you bring that back, then you're gonna get that emotional response to it, because you're then actually reminded of that positive time while you're looking at the sad moment. And then it really hits you, because that's gonna fire all the stuff in your head that would if you had that memory, which you do have that memory because you watched the movie, or you saw the thing, or you read the book. So if you bring it back in the right moment, the happy theme can be the saddest theme ever, and it works for that specific reason.
Nice, everybody. That's nice. That's nice. Play Hub's with us every week, by the way, guys. If y'all want to come back, 'cause this is quality stuff. As Claire in the chat said, this is better than I learned in a semester of acting class.
I mean, it's one of the techniques that are being used. There's more to this, but this is one of the big things you can sort of exploit to force people to have a sort of feeling.
I love how you think about music, and you've talked about storytelling in your music all the time. So Blaze,
music
on the
is storytelling. I'm going to quote myself.
Really
musicians and producers are storytellers.
Tell a story with your music, no matter what genre it is.
Yes.
It needs to have a beginning, middle, intro, climax, twist. It needs the whole story. Look up the what's called the hero's arc or whatever they use for like all stories from the dawn of time. It's just like the perfect outline for like a good story, and you can really apply all that to music too. So it's just like tell a story with a good ending.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be a happy ending. You could be crying.
Oh
at
yes.
the end.
Oh yes.
But this track was really good. It got us all talking. We went deep on that, guys. Come on. Come back next week for more.
Yeah.
So that being said, I'm gonna jump into some announcements here. So every Friday we do this. So feedback streams every Friday, same time. Look for the forum in the community. Monday we have producer battles every Monday, same time as these streams, which is 7 p.m. UTC, and on the States, I believe it's 12 on the West Coast and around 3 on the East Coast. 3 p.m. So, all right. So there's a MPA mixtape 3 submissions went up a little later than I wanted to, but I still got them up. Yeah, and I'm gonna go around asking people this time for some people that I want to really submit. But we've already got some good tracks again. Yeah, please do. I'll always submit. This is gonna be a great way to see the community just progress over time, even and stuff, and then to see the difference in our quality producers and the beginning producers. Because I mix it all in there. I mix it together. I make it work. So you'll see that there's some tracks in there that you would think like, oh, how'd this make it in? Because I'm putting everything in. If I cover it up with like, by trying to make it fit by having to like beef up the bass or something, that's just because I'm trying to make it fit. But for the most part, I'm just going to throw whatever you send me together. Eventually, maybe we'll get a little bit more curator on that. Curator kind of make sure the music's all quality. But right now, I just think it's a good representation of the people submitting tracks, all styles, all genres, all levels of production skills. So submit to that. There's a form. It's called Mixtape or MPA Mixtape 3 Submissions. And you just post your track in the comments. And I'll mix that. And I actually enjoy doing that. So send me some cool tracks. I'll make a little studio mix. I'm not actually mixing it like a real DJ would live. I'm using just like a DAW, and I'm tempo matching and key matching and all that stuff.
Disappointed.
All right, so
Just kidding.
I'll play it live one day. All right, so phase 1 is up, but no one signed up other than Powerball. He didn't comment. He just he DM'd me, but no more team captains, I guess. But you can still volunteer. But we do have some new people in the draft. We have some people waiting for the draft. So I know Blaze still in the draft. There's a full team that I would draft myself, and I think I could beat everybody with. I'm just saying, I'm throwing that out there. Once you see the new draft and see the new members, and Blaze still in the draft, there's a team that can be built here that's really solid. So if you want to be a team captain, you can still volunteer. And then also look out for today's post. There'll be a draft post, phase 2, the draft. What you do is you just comment that you want to join the draft. And then tomorrow, the team leaders will pick a team or stick with the team they already have, and then Monday we'll have the battle. So Belay, everyone, if you're already in the draft, I'll just put your name in the post, so you don't have to comment again if you don't want. And then if you want to update your tracks, send me the tracks, and I'll update your wiki. If you haven't sent me tracks yet, you need to, so the team captains can hear your tracks. And
even if we have listen to the tracks,
they need to. I know. I think the 2 team captains last time basically had it in their head who they wanted before we even picked, and they also were just going off the tracks they've heard previously by those artists. So they didn't really go in there. And they also didn't know who was all even in the draft to start. They just already had picked what they wanted, and then when they found out they had to take turns, they just were kind of hoping they could get the team they already picked. Now, this was all just kind of a test. We're just kind of in real time trying to figure this out. It's working pretty good. I like the idea of the draft. I like the idea of them taking turns. What we want to do is trade players. So ultimately, if a player wants to leave a team, I guess it's kind of their choice if they want. They're even more so. If a captain wants a player that's on a different team, he or she needs to first draft a team and then choose someone from their team that they want to trade. So you got to imagine that person's got to be pretty good too. It's like, okay, if I want to get Retrograde from Ski Lion, who do I got to trade? I got Blayheb on my side. He's just good. I'm gonna ask Ski if he wants Blay for Retro. Those are actual trades. They're negotiations and stuff that are going to be made between team captains, and I think that'll be a lot of fun. I think that adds just a whole other element to the battles, and so there'll be trading players, building players, and players can just, I don't know, leave teams if they don't like the team they're on or whatever. I can give team titles if people want the titles. I think Ski Lion said he wants titles for his team. So, we can just if you don't want the title, you can always remove the title yourself. But I can just give you your team titles so you can represent your team, Team Sprite, Team Skew, I think the name was.
Swell.
All right, cool. Swell. I've been saying Skew all week. Oh, my bad. I'm like, y'all got to check out the battles. Team Skew. Swell. Team Swell. Did y'all decide on that name?
Ski said it one time in our chat, and we're like, I guess that's the name.
You're like, let's have a vote. Oh, no. It's it.
No, there was no vote. It was just like, all right, that's the name.
Big mood.
Yeah.
Oh, good job, y'all. Okay, so those that missed it, Team Swell won, but it was a very close battle. I did the exact math, and because we had an even number of scores. If we don't have an even, we have to kind of do more averages. But since there was an even number of ratings and even number of judges, I just added everything up. And there was literally a 0.8 difference between the scores. So fair is fair. And Team Swell won the battle. And it was really fun because everyone was quality. And it was neat to see how neck and neck it actually was. I'm excited to see more teams pop up and more producers join the drafts because all it takes is just a team of 2 or 3, 4 at the most, of course, solid producers. And you got to, then you get Team Swell run for their money. So it's like, not that we're betting money on this, but I'm just saying, like, a good team is only as good as its competitor or competition. So let's build some more good teams and let's see some good competition, friendly competition. No one ever get mad. No one ever take it too personal.
No.
But
Team Sprite are the enemies.
Team Sprite are just sworn enemies from here on out.
What'd you say?
You
we have a
cheated.
representative from
cutting
Team
out.
Sprite. Oh, cheated.
Oh,
We
that's
have a
right.
representative from both team here. Retrogrades from Team Swell and Mentimus is from Team Sprite. Keep
You paid though.
Keep it cool, guys.
Okay.
We had to split them up in the Discord chat.
Yeah. Well, whatever. I'll see you on the battlefield, Menti. That's all I got there.
No, I'm leaving. I'm leaving the team actually.
Okay.
So-
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, both leave your team. Oh, that was a good draft now. All right, I'll make those posts and then
Autobots versus Decepticons.
yeah, that Radium. I think you should make a team. I honestly think the only problem with all of us making teams is we won't have any judges left. I was
Good
going to say,
point.
Blake,
No.
make a team. We're going to make a team. Like,
Good judge.
we're going to bring in some more judges for the battles. Feedback Friday is pretty packed and booked, and we got our nice team here. But on the battles, we will be looking for other opportunities to just get like people jumping in and giving scores and stuff like that. A little fun. But just because we're going to need it. If all our judges join teams, like if Blade gets on a team next week, we're not going to even have Blade. So it's going to be harder to rate these.
Yeah.
It's going to be important that we get community feedback. All right. Let's get those that are just patiently waiting for us to end because y'all want to get to the end of this. I'll go ahead and wrap it up.
Wait.
Um,
Yo,
yes.
what about hip-hop battle?
Hip hop battle. You know what? I think both you and Cyclops have brought up some really good points, and it's exactly what I wanted. But I need us to do the research myself. We want to be basically pretty picky to make sure they're actually hip hop beats and not just what someone thinks is hip hop. So I need you, Minty, since you're our hip hop guy on the panel here, and then Cyclops seems to be pretty pumped about it too. You can work with him, but all of us, of course, together. Let's come up with a criteria for what qualifies as an actual hip hop beat. Cyclops, and we'll have a hip hop beat battles. Literally, all you're allowed to submit are hip hop beats, And then what I was hoping, this is the original idea I had. We just got to get everyone to agree. That submits a beat, but I was hoping the winning beats could be used for a following competition right after a rap battle, so use those beats for the rap battle. So everyone has to rap on that beat. Now I don't know if that's the reason why I'm just like, is that fair? Because I know rappers rap on different styles of beats, so we're like hindering certain styles of rappers that can't rap on those style of beats. I don't know, because I know some people even say rap is not, some rap is not hip hop. So I don't know. I don't know someone said that once. I think someone heard someone. Anyways, you can rap on anything. You can rap on a rock song. You can rap on anything. But a hip hop is a certain genre of music. So a hip hop beat is a style. Rap is a style of vocals. So traditionally, you rap on hip hop beats, but it's still two separate things. That I don't know.
Yeah, hip hop.
Have you heard of Linkin Park? All right. I'm not throwing
What's
it
that?
apart. Rest in peace. Rest in peace. No, I'm not. I listen to some rap. I'm not a big rap artist myself. I do love hip hop. I love beats more than anything. I love 808s, and I just love beats and stuff. So I am familiar with good instrumentals and what solid hip hop is, and I love the whole trap scene that's developed out of it. But I don't know I'm definitely curious, and I need your help, Minty, more than anything. Like you're gonna have to, when we get to the events planner chat, what we can do is just start talking about what's going to qualify, or what can we use as a qualifier, like to check each track? Like, does it have this? Is it between this and this BPM? Is it a hip hop rhythm, or is it floor to the floor? If it's a disco song, we can't call it a hip hop song. So we just got to figure that out. So we'll do that. So yeah, hip hop beat battle challenge coming soon. Look out for that. I just threw up the teaser because I want people to know that's what we're working on. Then hopefully a rap battle after that. Okay, and then that's basically it as far as announcements. The team battles, the mixtape. Look out for the next feedback stream number 8, and that's it. So Discord. We did the draft on Discord last time. It was fun. We don't have to do it like that, and the problem is not every team captain is going to be able to make that time slot. So I'm realizing just regardless, we can't. team captains where I'm just gonna have to work with the captains and the two teams battling with each other for them to draft their team and set up the battle. There can still be a set time if y'all want, and I decided I'm gonna do this on Saturdays. I'm gonna jump on Discord and I'm gonna screen share just like I did last Saturday, 7 p.m. UTC, just the same time as these streams. If you're a part of the Discord, I get on there and I'm gonna get in the producer chat and I'm gonna share my screen. I'm gonna work on the battles, make sure it's all set up. I'm gonna work on the rosters, to work on the archives, work on everybody's score. Because there's actually a lot of work that goes into it on my end to keep everything up to date. So I have to actually sit down one day to actually do it. And actually, it's more enjoyable if I have people watching me and talking with me and helping me and just there with me doing it. So we can really make this, because we're gonna get overwhelmed with players and scores and records and team battles versus solo battles. So I'm gonna have a session where I sit down and actually work on it, and y'all are more than welcome to tune into that if you want.
Yeah, don't forget to join our Discord server. It's linked in the pinned featured posts in Amino, and if you go to our YouTube channel right here, it's then the top banner as well.
Nice. Yeah, please join our Discord. We want to grow that. Just it's an extension of MPA. It's not at all.
It's an extension.
It's more. It's better chat rooms. It's better.
Actual file sharing, screen sharing, good voice chat for once.
Yeah,
what?
Good quality. Good quality on the voice mic stuff and sound. You can select your sound card. You can do it on your computer. You can do all kinds of stuff on Discord. That we needed it to be part of Amino. So if you want to take advantage of all of Amino has to offer, join our Discord and SoundCloud and YouTube as well. Just follow everything because we're larger than just a little Amino platform. We are a community now of music producers. Our hub is Amino, but we are on SoundCloud, we're on YouTube, of course, and we're on Discord and stuff. So, all right. Thanks, Retrograde and Minty, for joining us. And as always, thanks, Radium and Playhub, for being here and doing the stream every week. And really coming along. I say this all the time to the leaders. I want everyone to know that I'm just actually very proud, because if anyone's been with the community the whole time, this is the first time for us to be. This is live stream. It's stream number 7. This is 7 weeks in a row of just consistently being on time and doing a live stream. Before this, it was just whenever I had time. So as y'all know, we were nowhere close to this. And we're doing battles now on Monday. That's because the reason why I did that is because I was enjoying Friday so much. I was like, okay, I don't want to wait till Friday again to get back on stream. I actually enjoy it so much and I really like it. So I was like, let's do our battles on Monday, every Monday. And the team always shows up too. So I'm actually really happy and I'm proud of the team and I'm proud of everyone that's comes back every day to the community and submits. And so I really like the community and I just enjoy seeing it grow. And I'm looking for quality over quantity. I know we love to look at 33,000 members and look at all these high numbers and organic growth. But what I always look at is the daily active members and the quality people that are submitting posts and submitting something. I see that growing every day. So that's what makes me feel good about the community. So cool. Thanks everybody. I'm going to get out of here. And thanks everybody in the chat. We'll see you back in the community. As always, you can send me a direct message at any time, and I get back to you pretty quick if you have any questions for me. All right. Thanks everybody.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.